What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. Today we have a story of one of the craziest pranks ever done. This bully kid pranks another kid into believing that Huggy Wuggy is not only real in real life, but also stalking him and trying to attack him in his very own house. You will not want to miss it, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, leave a like on the video for your very own free nothing, and let's jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Alex. So anyways, Alex was in the 4th grade, and Alex had a friend, his best friend actually, who we're going to call Steve. So anyways, it was Steve's birthday, and on that Saturday, Steve invited everyone in his class, or all the guys in his class at least, to have a sleepover. This includes the bully, right? So there's a kid in Alex's class who we're going to call the bully. So anyways, right, you know, the bully was just known for liking to pull pranks on people, but doing them in kind of a mean fashion. Like, he definitely had some lighthearted pranks, but he also had some mean pranks. So he's known as like the prankster slash the bully, but I'm just going to say the bully from this point on. But anyways, you know, Steve wanted to invite everyone in his class to his birthday party. And let me just say, when the bully learned of this, he decided that this was going to be a perfect opportunity to prank Alex. This was going to be to prank Steve. I'm mixing up Alex and Steve because those are the two names from Minecraft, right? So that's why I chose them. Anyways, the bully thought that this was a perfect, and I mean perfect, opportunity to prank Steve. So anyways, the bully decides that he's going to go on Amazon or find some kind of place to find a realistic, full in real life Huggy Wuggy costume. If you don't know who Huggy Wuggy is, he's like the blue animatronic guy from the scary video game Poppy Playtime. And basically, he is not your cute, cuddly stuffed animal. He's a little bit scary. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen images of him. But basically, the bully was able to get a full life in real life costume slash suit type thing. The bully was going to prank Steve into believing that the Huggy Wuggy guy was at his house and real. So anyways, let's flash forward to the day of the actual sleepover. So you get there, Alex is driven there by his mom. Alex is all excited to get there. He's bringing his present, which is whatever, right? His present is a free subscription to the connorpugs YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't already and you like stories. But anyways, right, they're driving over there, and, you know, Alex's mom's like, all right, well, I'll pick you up tomorrow. Have fun. Alex is dropped off. He goes into the house, and everyone is there. Steve is there. The bully's there. All the other kids in his class are there. It's really cool, right? They're having a really good time. They watch a really nice movie. Things are just really good. But for some reason, the bully was not there when he shows up. The bully arrives 20 minutes later, and the bully has a really large backpack. He brings like a backpack that you would bring camping for a week. Like, it is a big backpack, and there's obviously something pretty big stuffed inside of it. So, I mean, they're pretty, at this point, Alex and Steve are a little curious. Like, I think Alex actually asked him, he's like, hey, man, like, did you, like, bring enough, like, looks like you brought enough stuff to, like, stay here for a week, bro. Like, this is only one night, dude. And the bully's like, yeah, man, I just brought, like, a lot of pillows and stuff. And Alex is like, oh, can I see? And the bully's like, no. So Alex was kind of just like, okay. Because it was kind of weird. Like, why would the bully be so intent on him not seeing his pillow collection? Like, was it some kind of, like, secret My Little Pony pillow collection that the bully was embarrassed about? Or what are we talking about right now? But anyways, so the bully, you know, Alex just kind of lets it go. And the bully goes upstairs to put his stuff down. And the bully passes by with a smile on his face. Because the bully knows that he did not get detected. He was not tricked. Or he was not, like, exposed for trying to bring the Huggy Wuggy costume into the house. And part one of his plan was complete. So anyways, let's skip ahead to the movie time. So Steve was like, all right, guys, well, we get to pick a movie. I don't really care what we watch, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And the bully immediately got up, and they were all kind of sitting on the couch or whatever, and they had, like, popcorn, the lights were turned off, and the bully's like, oh, I want to suggest this movie. I really want you guys to watch it. The bully was super, super insistent that everyone watch this one specific video or this one specific movie, and it was a horror movie. Like, it was a very scary movie. And I think the bully just wanted to get everyone on edge because what he was going to do next definitely would have helped him out if everyone was already a little bit scared already. So yeah, the bully's watching as everyone is watching this scary movie, and everyone's getting kind of frightened, everyone's getting kind of freaked out, everyone's like, oh my god. Until a certain point, Steve, the birthday guy, literally said, hey man, I think I'm going to change the movie. This is too intense for me. However, by the time Steve changed it, it was already a little bit too late because everyone was just thinking about that scary movie. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but when you guys have watched a really scary movie or YouTube video or something like that, it just stays in your mind. Even if you watch something very happy or friendly or whatever, the only thing you're thinking about is that scary movie and how that thing from the scary movie is going to come and just murk you at 2 in the morning right from your closet because you're in the dark, right? You need a nightlight on at all times. But anyways, so the mood is set perfectly. They all walk upstairs and they're all a little bit on edge because the movie that the bully had them watch was pretty scary. And they all go up, and the whole plan was that everyone brought a sleeping bag, and while Steve was going to sleep in his bed, everyone else would sleep on the floor. And at this point, there was a little bit of a overflow issue. There wasn't room for everyone, so the bully immediately says, hey, it's okay, I'll sleep in the other room, don't worry about me. And he was very quick to offer it up. So even Steve was like, I don't know, man, I think we could all squeeze in here. And the bully's like, no. I'm totally fine with it. I want to make sure everyone here, I want to make sure everyone here is comfortable. Don't worry about me, guys. Don't worry about it. So, Steve's like, all right. And Alex is kind of like, okay, nothing too suspicious yet. And so now the bully is able to go into his very own room. He's in his very own place at the moment. And it was all part of his plan. So part B, which is to set the atmosphere with a scary movie, complete. And part C of his plan, which was to go into his very own little area so he can do what he needs to do undetected. Part C is also complete. So now part D to his plan is to wait. And wait he does. So at this point, Alex and everyone else goes to bed. And it's probably an hour because the bully wanted to make sure that everyone was fully asleep or entering sleep. He didn't want to wait 5 minutes because then people would be a little bit suspicious or just wouldn't have the same effect. Because I don't know about you, but if I was woken up to a scary noise, that would be almost different. That would be much scarier to me than sitting around, you hear something weird. I feel like your senses are a little bit more in it. So I feel like if you saw someone in a scary costume, you would feel like, I don't know, it would just seem more likely. It would just seem more likely that, I don't know, that it was someone. But if someone was in a scary costume, or someone was trying to pull a prank on me, but if someone was in a scary costume and I woke up out of a daze, in the middle of my sleep, there is absolutely, I would not even for a second think that, that wasn't legit. I would 100% freak out immediately. So the plan was really good. So at this point, after about an hour, the bully goes into his big backpack, and he pulls out the Realistic Huggy Wuggy costume, and he slips into it. And the bully wants to do this kind of slightly. He doesn't want to overkill it too quickly. So what the bully does is he walks out of his room, and he goes knock, knock, knock on the door, and then quickly slides back into his room and closes his thing, right? And he gets into his sleeping bag, and he kind of pulls the top of the Huggy Wuggy costume down so that it's less obvious that he's in one when he's in his sleeping bag. So sure enough, Alex, who is kind of half asleep, but not really, hears this and kind of is like, what? Why is someone knocking on the door right now? And he looks over at Steve, his friend, and Steve is fully asleep. And he looks around and everyone else is fully asleep. So it's really just Alex who's up. And he kind of thinks that it is Steve's mom, coming in to check on them or to tell them something. So Steve, understandably, goes up to the door, opens it, and he's just greeted by darkness. There is literally nothing else outside besides darkness. And he's like, no, someone definitely did knock. So Steve's starting to get a little bit freaked out Alex is starting to get a little bit freaked out because he heard knocking, but very clearly, nobody was on the other side. Nobody was there. So he's like, okay, this is a little bit weird. He closes the door and he goes back to bed. At this point, the bully notices this. He hears this. And he's like, all part of the plan. The next thing, though, the next part of the plan, the bully is about to go into full costume and absolutely scare them. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment Huggy Wuggy down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I will heart as many comments as I can that say Huggy Wuggy. Also, if you want to leave a like in the video right now, I will give you absolutely nothing, which is a fantastic deal. Obviously, subscribe if you are new to the channel and like story videos. And finally, if you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is after this video, go ahead and watch my older story videos. A very easy way to do that is to click the link in the pinned comment, which will have a link to my Storytime playlist, which is simply a playlist of all my story videos. Nice and easy. Got it all ready for you guys. Let's get back to it. This prank's about to be crazy. So sure enough, the bully knows what time it is. He gets back fully into his Huggy Wuggy costume, and he walks down the hallway. And what he does is he goes to the door, and he opens it a little bit. He creaks it open a little bit. And sure enough, the door makes a creaking sound. And the only person who's up right now is Alex, because he just got up to check what the knocking was. And Alex looks up, and he sees the door open a little bit, and he freezes, and his heart is racing, and the adrenaline is pumping. And he's like, okay, that's just the house being old. Because if you live in an old house, you know that stuff is always creaking and crunching and falling apart and exploding. And there's always a few ghosts in an old house. So nothing too crazy, right? Yeah, but sure enough, he's like, okay, that wasn't super normal, but okay, we're rolling with it. We're vibing, we're going with it. And then another creak. The door opens a little bit more. At this point, Alex is pretty certain that, there's something there pushing the door open. So Alex turns over to his friend Steve, pushes him a little bit. He's like, Steve. Steve's like, what? Steve kind of like wakes up a little bit, stretches, kind of looks around, rubs his eyes. He's like, what's up? And all Alex does is point to the door. Imagine you're woken up by someone at the sleepover. You wake up to look into their face, and all you see is a look of pure terror behind their eyes. And then you look at what they're doing, and they're pointing at the door directly in front of you. And that's when both of them see the door open a little bit more. And this time, there is a little bit of the blue Huggy Wuggy paw is visible. At this point, Alex is like, dude, what is that? And Steve looks at it, he's like, bro. And they start to freak out a little bit. Because you see this big blue paw thing opening up the door. I mean, what are you... first of all, especially as Steve, he was just woken up a second ago, bro. Imagine you're woken up from a dream to your friend freaking out, and the door is opening slowly, and this blue paw is pushing it open. So sure enough, the bully decides to completely go for it, right? And he just opens up the door more and more, and he pushes his head in, and he has the full Huggy Wuggy costume on, and it's dark. So obviously, if you had this in the light, it would be clear as a costume. But since it was in the dark, it wasn't as clear. And Alex and Steve, they both see this, and they both just let out a massive scream. And that massive scream is like a chain reaction. Everyone else around there starts waking up. And imagine, you're a kid at the sleepover, and the first thing you see when you open your eyes is this big blue scary toothy monster open at the door. So it's a chain reaction of freaking out, right? So immediately, or about like 30 seconds later, you hear like a light, the light turns on, you hear walking down the hallway, you hear Steve's mom be like, oh my God. And that's when the bully realizes, uh-oh, I don't want to get in trouble with the mom. So he turns around, he takes off his helmet, not his helmet, but his head thing, whatever. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's me. She's like, what are you doing? At this point, all the kids are still freaking out because remember, they're dazed. They're coming out of sleeping, so they're still kind of freaking out, right? And that's when the mom comes over, flicks on all the lights, walks into the room, flicks on the lights, and that's when Alex sees very clearly that this is not Huggy Wuggy. This is not some this is not some actual monster. It's just the bully in a Huggy Wuggy costume. So at this point, the mom's like, at this hour, what are you, why? She can't go, okay. Steve's mom is not going so hard, right? She's not going crazy. She's not going crazy on this kid. She's not absolutely going crazy. But she's a little bit like, bro, what are you doing? Like, it is like 12 at night. We're all asleep. And all the kids are starting to, like, figure out what's actually going on. So some of them are getting a little bit mad. They're like, dude, why? What the freak, bro? Like, what are you doing? It's like, it's 12 at night. You're trying to give me a heart attack? I'm only 8. Why are you trying to kill me now, dude? So, yeah. Sure enough, eventually the bully's like, I got you guys, haha. And everyone's just like, bro, why? Why? Like, no one was amused at all. Like, sure, it was a good prank and he did get them. However, he also had to wake them all up, scare the living daylights out of them, just to say, haha, you got pranked. Yeah, so Steve's mom was not super happy about that. So the next day comes along, and sure enough, right, they all sit down, and everyone's grumpy because they didn't get proper sleep. Because most kids, after being just completely got the daylight scared out of them, they didn't go to bed right away. They didn't go to bed right away because they were still freaked out over what they saw. I don't blame them, bro. Like, I really can at some point. Yeah, so sure enough, they're all just kind of like tired, upset, unhappy, right? And at this point, I mean, Alex or Steve, the bully's like, haha, sorry, guys. And yeah, let me just say that Steve was not quick to invite him to any sleepovers after that point. However, later, Steve does admit it was a pretty good prank. And Alex, the one who submitted the story, says while he was pretty upset in the moment, this will definitely go down as one of the most legendary pranks that has ever been pulled on him. Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it. How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a good day, because today we have a story time of one of the craziest sleepovers ever that involves a massive prank, as you can tell by the title of the video, and I know you guys will enjoy it, so sit back, relax, maybe get something to eat, get something to drink, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's just jump right into it, and call today's subscriber who submitted the story. Let's call her Ava. So this was all happening when this was about a year ago when Ava was in 4th grade. She's now in 5th grade, submitting this story over to my Instagram account, which you can submit stories to as well. Anyways, Ava was having a sleepover, and about a year ago, it was like on the internet, a very kind of like popular horror game character was named Huggy Wuggy. It's a big blue scary thing or whatever. You probably saw him in the thumbnail of today's video, and you've probably seen him around YouTube as well. And that horror trend was kind of beginning to go pretty crazy. That's going to be important for later in the video, but you probably won't hear anything of it for a little bit. So anyways, Ava was invited over to a sleepover. And normally you might be thinking, well, there's nothing really special about that. It's just being invited over to a sleepover. People are invited over to sleepovers all the time. But here's the deal. Ava was invited over to the bully's sleepover, which is very strange because most of the time you would think that, when someone is bullying you, that maybe they don't like you. And if they don't like you, why would they want you over at their sleepover? And this was a very weird thing. So Ava went up to one of her friends and she said, yeah, do you know the bully? And, the friend's like, did you also get invited to their sleepover? And Ava was like, yeah, like I also got invited to her house. Like I don't understand this at all. She's so mean to us all the time. And the friend is like, well, I don't know. Maybe she just wants to kind of make amends or something, or put the past behind us. Basically, right, there was this girl in their grade that was extremely mean to them. Like, not so cruel that the girl got in trouble, but just kind of known as, kind of the girl that was always mean to them, this wasn't really a good friend at all. And so all these girls who, the bully was mean to, got invited to a sleepover. And they were thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe the bully's trying to make amends. Maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe she's changing her ways, because just because you're a jerk in 4th grade or 3rd grade doesn't mean that you're going to be a jerk forever. Man, you were a jerk in 3rd grade. There's no way you're different by the age of 32. Now, you know how it is. The thing is, it turns out the bully, which, Ava and friends will figure out later on, was not inviting them over to make amends. Was, in fact, not inviting them over because, she wanted to start friendships again. In fact, she didn't even invite them over because she liked them. The bully invited them over so that the bully could play an epic prank and get them all. Just to kind of like get them one more time, but this time bigger than she's ever done before. So the bully, the plan behind this, right? And here's the thing. We don't know exactly what was going through the bully's head. And, Ava kind of just told me some details, and I got to kind of come up to my own conclusions. But what I think is the bully was sitting there planning it, like, you know what? I enjoy, like, messing with these people so much. And, like, I really want to pull the biggest prank ever. And that's when, you know, the whole Huggy Wuggy scary video game thing trend came out about a year ago. And the bully realized that this was a perfect opportunity to get them scared. So the bully went on it, asked her mom or whatever to go on Amazon or something and buy her a Huggy Wuggy costume and full body whatever, right? And from there, the bully was planning a pretty epic prank. So anyways, flashback to Ava and her friends. You know, Ava goes back to her house, and her mom says, "Oh, Janet's mom." Let's just call the bully Janet, but I'm going to call her Bully afterwards because I'll literally forget that name. Janet's mom just contacted me and said, "Oh, you can go over to, you know, what am I saying? She invited you over to her house for a sleepover. That's so nice. Like, I'll happily drive you over this Friday." And then, like, Ava's mom kind of looked at Ava and was like, "Ava, didn't you tell me that Janet wasn't so nice to you?" And Ava's like, "Yeah, Janet hasn't really been nice to me or my friends a lot in the past." But then Ava's like, maybe she's changed. And Ava's mom's like, "Oh, that's so nice. I love Janet's mom. I was so sad when I heard you guys weren't friends." Then she does this little frowny face. I'm so excited that Janet's being nice. You guys are gonna be friends. Yay!" And Ava's like, "All right, mom, that's enough. That's enough." So anyways, next day comes around. It is Friday, and Ava's mom, after school, drives Ava and two other classmates doing a little carpool action, drives two other of Ava's friends that were also invited to the bully's, I already forgot her name, so I'm just going to call her the bully again. Already invited back to the bully's house for the sleepover, and Ava's mom's like, "Are you girls excited for tonight?" And Ava's like, Mom, you're embarrassing me." The other two are like, "Yes, Miss Ava's mom." I didn't want to come up with a last name, so I'm saying that. "Yes, Miss Ava's mom, we are excited. It should be lots of fun." And Ava's mom's like, "Yay!" And Ava's like, "Mom, please, Mom, you're embarrassing me." Anyways, gets dropped off at the bully's house. They all step out, and Ava turns to one of her friends. And Ava's friends is like, or one of Ava's friends is like, "Something's wrong. Like, something is not right. I can't put my finger on it, but something just feels not right here." Real quick, if you made it this far, comment bully down below, as that will be the secret word of the day. I'll try and heart as many of those comments as I possibly can. And also, if you want to keep supporting the channel, which thank you so much for the support recently, all you got to do is just binge watch videos, aka just sit down and watch a bunch of videos in one sitting. I have a bunch of playlists, or just watch another one of my videos that are in the recommended. You can do this while you're, I don't know, drawing, playing video games, cleaning your room. You can have a playlist to help you go to bed. Whatever you got to do, let me know in the comment section what you do so I can say thank you. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So when Ava and her friends got to the house, one of them already said right away, "I got a bad feeling about this." But before they could discuss that or anything, the doors were opened. It was the bully's mom's like, "Oh, welcome, thank you, I'm so excited for you guys to be here." Whatever, typical mom speak, and they all walk in, and the bully looks at them, is like, "Hey guys, so glad you could come." And Ava feels a little bit weird about the whole thing, but honestly is like, you know what, I'm gonna go about this, with, open heart, open arms, open mind. Like, I can't just assume that this girl is evil, right? But anyways, they get in, and, they have some activities planned. They're actually, the bully's mom is going to drive them all to the mall, and they do that. They go to the mall. They're having a pretty good time, and the bully is actually, pretty sociable. She is able to keep conversation with all of them, and Ava and her friends are starting to, let their guards down and actually having some fun, Afterwards, they go out to dinner together, and, that's actually also a really fun time as well. And then afterwards, they go out to get some ice cream, and they go back and they watch a movie. And at this point, Ava and most likely her friends were just thinking, wow, the bully has really turned a corner. She's actually, not a bad person. Like, yeah, she was kind of a jerk to us for most of, all the third grade and most of, the fourth grade year so far. But, maybe she's really turned around. Maybe she's truly different. Maybe she's truly changed, because tonight's been a lot of fun, guys. Tonight's been a lot of fun. And so anyways, it's about bedtime. It's like 9:30, 10. And, they're going into bed. It's a big old sleepover in Ava's room. They all go in there, all brush their teeth, do whatever. They sit down in the sleeping bags. They talk about whatever until it's eventually Ava's like, all right, guys, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go to bed. So happy you guys could come. And it was like a really nice moment. But little did Ava and her friends know that that really nice moment was all a lie for what was about to come. So anyways, Ava, kind of struggles to go to bed. It's difficult for her. She always has a lot of energy, and it always takes her at least 30 minutes to an hour to actually fall asleep. But, at the sleepover, she didn't want to have her eyes open because someone wakes up a little bit and just sees Ava staring at them intensely. Obviously, that would be a little bit uncomfortable for everyone in the situation. So Ava was pretty content, just like, you know what, I'm just going to keep my eyes closed or whatever. And it's about 15, 30 minutes later, and Ava hears, kind of movement from, or not Ava, the bully. Sorry. No, Ava, right. Ava hears movement from the bully's bed. And, the bully gets up and kind of like walks by them all. And Ava doesn't think anything of it, right? Because like maybe the, I don't know, bully's going to the bathroom, needs a glass of water. You already know how it is. And, so Ava, like a minute later is like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. So Ava gets up and she gets out of the room, starts walking down, and she hears like rustling in the kitchen. She hears like walking and footsteps and movement. So Ava just assumes that, it's the bully and she's, I don't know, gonna get a glass of water or something. But Ava needs to go to the bathroom. So Ava goes into the bathroom and locks the door. And that's when she hears footsteps walking back up. But the weird thing about these footsteps is there's a bit of a kind of they just sound different. And the reason why they sound different, a little spoiler, is because the bully is in the full Huggy Wuggy suit. I don't know where she got it, if it's on Amazon or a toy store or something. She's in the full Huggy Wuggy suit. And because of that, her feet are covered in blue something. So that kind of blue felt material is hitting the ground differently than normal socks or felt or like a footstep would. They kind of have this bit of a drag to them. And so Ava kind of hears this, and, she gets up because she was just about to go wash her hands, and she peeps through the peephole of the door. And she gets really frightened because all she can see is, remember, when you look through the peephole, so it's like a little distorted. So all that Ava sees is this like distorted blue creature with big like teeth walking down the hallway. So she's like covers her mouth to try not to scream. And so Ava's just sitting there and it's just like, oh my God. And she watches as the big blue monster walks into, the room where she was. And she sees like the door, she didn't see it, but she hears the door open, and then she hears everybody in that room screaming at the top of their lungs. And Ava, this is like the scariest moment of Ava's life, because like she can't tell from like, first of all, it's dark out. Second of all, she was only looking through like a distorted peephole. She has no idea what that is. And she's in 4th grade. She probably does think or she's in, I don't know, 4th or 3rd grade or whatever. She probably does think that there's a chance that this thing is real, And even if it wasn't, what is it, dude? So she's kind of freaking out in the bathroom. She hears like screaming and crying, and that's when she sees like, or hears, because she's in the bathroom. I keep saying sees, but it's just what she hears. Footsteps come up, and 2 pairs of footsteps, and it's the bully's mom and dad. And at this point, like, it was late at night, everyone had gone to bed, and then she hears yelling from the bully's mom and dad, and the bully's mom is like bully, or I forgot her name. When I say bully, just assume that there's a name in place there. And the bully's mom's like, bully, like, this is so late and this is so mean. You invited all these people over here just to scare them like this. Look at them. Half of them are crying. And Ava can hear like whimpering noises from the other room, and it's like crying, like, you know what? And the bully's mom turns to all the girls and is like, girls, I am so sorry. And looks at the bully and says, you know what? You're sleeping in the guest room tonight. Go up there. They probably don't feel safe with you still here. Girls, I'm so sorry. And with that, they hear like the bully's mom and dad continue to like berate the bully as like the bully is walking away with the mom and dad. And this is when Ava waits for everything to settle down, leaves the bathroom, walks into the room with all the girls. And she's like, dude, what just happened? And some of the girls are still crying. A lot of them are shaken up. And like the girl that was friends with Ava that said earlier, if you remember, like, I have a bad feeling about this, said, Ava, like, I knew I had a bad feeling about it. I should have trusted my gut. Like, I knew I was right about this. And Ava's like, what happened? And Ava had an idea of what happened. But basically, the girls explained that, the bully got up when they were all asleep, got into this big, realistic, kind of scary blue monster, which they didn't know what Huggy Wuggy was at the time, but eventually they learned that it was like a character from a video game, and that the bully dressed up like the character walked in, basically like slammed the door open so that they'd all wake up. And imagine this. Okay, first of all, you're in 3rd or 4th grade, but even now, if I was like awoken and all I see in front of me is this big, terrifying blue monster with massive teeth that's scary, like, I would freak out too. And I'm 19. Like, imagine if you were 12 or however old they are in 4th or 5th. I don't know. However old they are. Dude, I would be traumatized. So yeah, the bully eventually, all the girls were like, wow, like, the bully was really just putting on a facade the whole time, pretending to really be like friends with us and buddy just to get our guard down and to scare us like that. So anyways, they all go to sleep, and it takes them a while. They all get really terrible sleep. But they wake up and they're downstairs, and the bully's mom's like, hey girls, so sorry for what happened last night. I got you guys some good breakfast. And it was actually good breakfast. You got, some eggs, bacon, you got some selection of cereals. Life was actually pretty good. And the bully was nowhere to be seen. Apparently, she was still grounded to her room by her parents. And all the parents eventually came and picked them up, and Ava and the 2 friends that carpooled with Ava's mom got into the car, and Ava's mom, who had no idea what happened, turns around and is like, hey girls, like, anything interesting happened? And Ava was like, Mom, do I have a story for you?
Click on the video on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.
Today we got a story time of this bully who tricks this little kid into believing that Huggy Wuggy is real. However, the older brother of the little kid figures out what is happening and comes up with some pretty epic revenge. So you'll definitely want to stick around. Subscribe if you're new, and let's call today's subscriber who submitted this story, let's call him Ezra. So this all happened one day when Ezra, the subscriber who submitted this, was just chilling at home, right? He was just hanging out. And he also has a little brother who we're just going to call the little brother. The little brother is in 2nd grade, and Ezra is in, 8th grade, maybe freshman in high school. There's a pretty big age differential between the two, but Ezra and the little brother have a very good relationship. Ezra's kind of really enjoys being the big role model guy to the little brother. So one day, Ezra is just, playing Minecraft, playing Roblox. He's just in his room when he hears his little brother come running up the stairs, and he's crying, and he runs into his room because Ezra and his little brother have rooms next to each other on the 2nd floor of the house. So Ezra is like, oh boy, what's going on? Pauses his game or quits his game, gets up from his chair, and walks over to his little brother's room. And his little brother is freaking out, dude. He's full on freaking out. He's kind of crying a little bit. He's locking all the doors or whatever. So when Ezra eventually gets over, the door's locked. Or there aren't really locks on their doors, but for some reason, Ezra can't get in. And he's like, hey, little bro, what's going on? And he's like, how do I know you're not Huggy Wuggy? And Ezra's like, bruh, what do you mean by that, dude? What are you even saying here? And he's like, how do I not know that you're not Huggy Wuggy in disguise? And Ezra's like, all right, so obviously something's going on here. And so Ezra's like, all right, well, ask me a personal question that only I would know, just if you really need proof that I'm not a Huggy Wuggy in disguise. So the little brother thinks about it for a second. He's like, a week ago, you brought me to the mall. Which store did we go to? Ezra's like, we went to Build-A-Bear. And as soon as he says that, he doesn't get a response from his little brother, but he hears the movement of some kind of big object in front of the door. And sure enough, Ezra pushes on the door again and it opens. And he sees that the little brother moved a drawer or something that was kind of heavy and prevented him from opening the door in front of the drawer. And his little brother's now sitting on the bed, kind of freaking out. And Ezra's like, dude, what is going on? He's like, Huggy Wuggy is real and he's out to get me. I have to check behind every corner now. I'm not safe, and you're not safe, Ezra. And Ezra, who, is on the internet, man, he watches YouTubers. He knows about Huggy Wuggy. Basically, if you don't know, it's the guy in the thumbnail. It's also just it's like a character from a horror video game that came out recently that's pretty popular. And Ezra's like, bro, you don't need to worry about it. Huggy Wuggy is not real. He's just something from the internet. He's from a video game. Do you think that, Star Wars is real? It's from, a TV show, or SpongeBob's from a TV show. Like, there's nothing for you to worry about. And the thing is, right, Ezra's little brother has access to, like, a Nintendo DS, that's probably about it or whatever, has no access to the internet, doesn't even have access to YouTube, just all he can do is play a little bit of games. However, there are people in his class, which you'll learn pretty soon, that do have access to the internet. So Ezra's like, little bro, like, what's up? What's wrong? What's good with you? Like, why are we freaking out right now? And, Ezra's little brother's just like, Ben. Once again, I'm using Ben, bro. I'm sorry. It's the name I always use when I need a name. And, Ezra's like, yeah, isn't that the bully in your class? So Ezra's like, hangs out with his little bro enough to know, like, a little bit of, like, what's going on with the class. And, sure enough, Ezra's like, yeah, dude, I know who Ben is. And, Ezra's like, or Ezra's little brother's is like, Ben came up to me and he showed me this video of this big scary blue thing, and he said it was Huggy Wuggy, and he said that he was real and he was roaming around, and he says that, like, I need to be super careful, and that he's gonna come after me, and that he was just doing me a favor, telling me. And Ezra's like, dude, he wasn't trying to do you a favor, trust me. All he was trying to do was scare you. And Ezra's little bro's like, how do you know? And Ezra's like, look, you know about YouTube. And Ezra's little brother's like, yeah. Because this is a place that Ezra's little brother's not allowed on. His parents were like, don't let him on YouTube. Like, we're not allowing that for a while. But Ezra kind of thought, all right, I'm going to step in here and be like, so on YouTube, there are a lot of videos, right? And he pulls up, like, a video of Huggy Wuggy. And Ezra's like, ah! And, or Ezra's little brother's like, oh my God, that's it. He's coming for me. And Ezra's like, hold on, chill out. No, you're good. He said, this is a YouTube video of a video game. It is not real. And Ezra's little bro's like, really? Ezra's like, yeah. That bully in your class? Nah, he's just messing with you. At this point, Ezra's not having it. Ezra's not happy at all, right? Because this has been like the 5th or 6th time that this bully, Ben, has, done something pretty aggressive against his little brother. Keeps picking on him, right? And, so far, they did, like, report him to the principal and the teacher, but they were kind of useless. So, Ezra sits down, and Ezra's, like, making sure that his little brother's okay, and his little brother is okay. And, he's calming down. He's like, oh, okay, it's just like a fictional thing. And sure enough, Ezra returns to his room, and it's just sitting down, and it's like, dude, like, screw this kid. He's so annoying. Like, I got to figure out a way to make this right. And that's when Ezra had a perfect idea. Ezra and his little bro were going to get this guy back. Real quick, comment Huggy Wuggy down below if you want a heart on your comment. That will be the secret word, or I guess the secret phrase of the day today, just to say thank you for making this far into the video. And also, if you want to support the channel, binge watch videos, just watch a bunch of them in a row, like watch a bunch after this one. And if you do so, please comment on the video like this person. I will heart it and say thank you, or do my best to give my appreciation. Also, I've been seeing a lot of my profile pics in the comment section. Let me just say that the cult is going strong, bro. Anyways, back to the story. So anyways, back to the prank. And remember what just happened. Ezra is upset because his little brother was just pranked once again by this bully that keeps pranking his little brother. And, the bully told, his little brother that Huggy Wuggy is real or whatever. So Ezra is sitting down. He's like, we got to get back at this guy. I don't know. We got to prank him back in some way, which, look, normally you should always go to, like, I don't know, a teacher or something. But Ezra, was just kind of mad because the teacher wasn't doing anything. Ezra does say that maybe this was not the best response, but it was the way he responded. And all I'm doing is telling the story. I'm not necessarily endorsing it, but it does make for a fantastic story that I know you guys will enjoy. So anyways, Ezra has an idea. And instead of straight up telling you the idea, let's just kind of like, I'll let you stay along for the ride and you'll see what's happening. So anyways, Ezra buys one of those Huggy Wuggy masks on Amazon or one of those like websites or whatever. And within about a week or so, he gets it. And he comes to the door and he like goes to the package. He opens it up. He's like, this is perfect. So he walks into his little brother's room. He's like, little bro, I got an idea. So he sits him down and he tells him the plan that I'm not going to tell you. And the little bro was like, you know what? He was like kind of like all teeming with excitement. He's like, yeah, we're finally going to get the bully back. Like, this is so fire. This is so awesome. And Ezra's like, by the way, remember, you can't get caught. And if you get caught, you're not saying I told you to do it, okay? And the little bro's like, yeah. So once again, I don't necessarily endorse this, but it was pretty funny, so I thought I'd tell that on the channel anyways. Anyways, right, so next day in school, the little brother goes in. And it's a normal day for the little bro. And now we're doing it from the little brother's perspective because, Ezra wasn't there at school. The little bro has the Huggy Wuggy mask in his backpack. And he goes up to the bully and he's like, hey man, like, thank you so much for telling me about Huggy Wuggy. Like, I actually was told by my uncle that it's a serious issue and that they made a video game out of it to cover it up. Basically a little backstory to make the bully feel a little bit like, uh-oh. The bully's like, bro, I was just making it up. I totally got you. And Ezra's like, no, I talked to some adults about it, and apparently it's actually a real problem. And the internet is like, the video game was made just to cover up the real situation. So now the bully, remember, dude, they're in first grade, man. They're going to believe anything. So the bully's like, oh my God. Now the bully's getting a little bit scared, a little bit concerned. And so anyways, you know what? I'm just going to tell you what they do. The plan is for the little brother to wear the Huggy Wuggy mask and to be in a position where only the mask is visible. And here is the plan that Ezra, the older brother, has. So I thought I'd be able to tell it, but I just want to tell you guys so you guys aren't confused when I explain it. Basically, towards the end of the day, after they're out of school, the bully always goes to the bathroom. He always consistently goes to the bathroom because Ezra was like, do you know a time or a place that this bully, when he was asking his little brother, do you know a time or a place where this bully always goes? Does he always go to X place at X time? And the little brother thought about it. Was like, no, I can't think about it or think about anything. And he's like, oh, wait, no. Like after the bell rings, the bully always goes to the bathroom before he's picked up by his mom. And so Ezra's like, all right, this is going to be perfect. And the plan is for the little brother, right, to go to the bathroom before the bully does, and then to hide in one of the stalls. And the idea is, since there are two stalls, the little brother is going to lock himself into one of them, and the bully is going to go into the other stall. And then the little brother is going to be like, hey, Ben, in a very kind of weird, creepy voice. And Ben's going to be like, who's that? And then instead of the little brother, I don't know, showing his feet or whatever, the little brother will be kind of squatting on the toilet and bend down and just show his face. And his face, remember, has the Huggy Wuggy mask. So it's a little convoluted, but let me tell you exactly what happens. So sure enough, right before the bell rings, or about 5 minutes before the bell rings, the little brother says, hey, teacher, can I go to the bathroom? And the teacher's like, dude, we got 5 minutes left. And the little brother's like, I really gotta go. The teacher's like, fine, whatever, fair enough, right? So the little brother, instead of going directly to the bathroom, he goes to his locker. And what's in his locker? The Huggy Wuggy mask. So he grabs it and he runs on into the bathroom. And the thing is, right, he's got to make sure that he doesn't scare the wrong person. So he's memorized what shoes the bully is wearing. And he goes into one of the stalls and he squats on the toilet. Because if he has his feet down or he's standing normally, they're going to see his shoes. And then obviously Huggy Wuggy's not wearing the newest pair of fresh Skechers, man. It's just how it is. But anyways, he goes in there and he sees someone come in. He's like, is this the bully? He looks at them. It's not the right pair of shoes. So he waits. And also, there's no clock in the bathroom, but after about what it feels like 5 minutes has passed, eventually the door opens again, and guess who it is? It is the bully, or someone wearing identical shoes. He's just, the little brother's going to have to take the risk on this one. And sure enough, he waits a second. And he doesn't, here's the thing. The little brother and Ezra told him, okay, don't scare him while he's literally going pee or something. Wait till he's basically done. And so sure enough, right, he waits till he's done. And, the bully gets up on his seat, or it sounds like that, and, flushes the toilet, so he's done, and opens the stall door. And at this point, right, the little brother's like, shoot, I didn't do it soon enough. I was supposed to look under when the bully was done. But anyways, right, like the little brother's like, screw it, I'm going to go with it anyways. And he's like, Ben. And Ben's like, dude, what? Who is it? So what the little brother does is while standing on the toilet, he reaches out and he slowly opens the door. But he only opens it enough so that his face mask can be showing. Remember, it has the Huggy Wuggy face mask. And there's a chance that the bully realizes it's a mask and it backfires. But thankfully for the little brother and Ezra, he looks out at him with the mask. And the bully only stares at him for 1 second. And remember, the bully has been thinking about Huggy Wuggy the whole day after the little brother said, oh, my uncle was telling me it's a real thing. He's from the FBI or some kind of lie. And the bully's like, ah! Immediately sprints out of there. And at this point, right, the little brother is like, yes, I finally got the bully back. But then he remembered that, Ezra, his older brother, is like, all right, after that happens, you need to get out of there. You got to leave the scene of the crime, because if he tells a teacher or a parent, they're going to go in there and they're going to see you and they're going to realize it's a mask. So after scaring the bully, he takes off the mask and he walks out of there as stealthy, as incognito as possible. And the thing is, the little brother doesn't know if the bully ever told anyone about it, because he was out of the bathroom, he was out of sight. And so let's switch back to Ezra's POV. Ezra's just playing Minecraft again. Remember, this is the subscriber, not the little brother. He's playing Minecraft in his room, and he hears his little bro walk up the stairs. And he's been thinking about the prank the entire day. And he's like, did it work? And so he immediately goes up to the door, opens it, and it's like, dude, did it work? And the little bro is just looking at him with the biggest smile on his face ever. Today we get a story of a kid who thinks that Huggy Wuggy, the big scary blue thing in the thumbnail, is actually real, even though Huggy Wuggy is from a pretty popular video game, and it's pretty funny. So yeah, sit back, relax, subscribe if you like stories, and let's call today's subscriber who sent in this story, let's call him Jack. This all happened one day when Jack was in class, and Jack's teacher decided to assign them a project where they had to choose their favorite animal, because they were doing a unit on a bunch of different animal life. I think it was a science class. Remember, this was in 3rd grade, so nothing too intense for a science class. Just talking about different types of animals and stuff like that. But anyways, right, in Jack's class, he was assigned a project where everyone had to choose their favorite animal and do a quick 30 to 45 second presentation about that animal, as well as have a little sign type thing or a poster that has little facts about the animal and cool photos or whatever. And basically they were allowed to choose any animal that really existed and just talk about it from there. So anyways, right, Jack decided to choose dogs because, I don't know, man, dogs are pretty cool. I mean, my name is Connor Pugs because my first name is Connor, and I like pugs, bro, and pugs are dogs. But anyways, right, so anyway, Jack is working on the project, and he's feeling pretty good about it. And the teacher decides to allow the kids to get together and talk with each other in randomized groups. And sure enough, right, Jack is added into a group with this guy, and we're going to call this guy Ben. So anyways, right, their instructions were to sit down, talk to their group member who was assigned randomly, and basically give a mini presentation. It was the day right before the project, so they were expected to have their project / presentation 90% to almost 100% done at this point. So it was kind of given a little bit of practice, and instead of having to present in front of everyone, they were, expected to present in front of one person to kind of get all the wrinkles out and stuff like that. So anyways, Jack is like, hi Ben, it's good to see you. Jack and Ben never really talk that much, but they were aware of each other. So anyways, right, Jack, he does his presentation on dogs, says some fun facts, how it is, you'll love to see it, yada yada. Anyways, right, and then Ben starts his presentation, and Ben doesn't have a poster because he left his poster board with at home or something. But anyways, right, Jack starts going about I did my presentation on Huggy Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy is from the Poppy Playtime factory. And at first, right, Jack knew what Poppy Playtime was. It was a very popular game. This story happened literally a week ago. And if you don't know, Poppy Playtime 2 came out. I don't play it, but I've seen it around. And yeah, so there's a lot of hype around the game. And Jack kind of stops him for a second. Is like, yo, Ben, you realize Huggy Wuggy isn't real. And bro, the look on on Ben's face is a look of disgust, a look of terror, a look of just repulsion, just a ton of stuff. But then Ben's look of disgust kind of turns to laughter, and he laughs at Jack and is like, oh, Jack, now you're going to tell me that dogs aren't real too? Ha ha ha, whatever. And Jack is looking at Ben and realizes that, Ben is being 100% serious, because Ben kind of thought, or Jack kind of thought that Ben was joking around. I mean, first of all, like, he didn't have a poster with him. Jack would have realized that Ben was being serious right away if he had a poster with like photos of Huggy Wuggy and stuff on it, because no one would have gone that far to like actually make a poster just for like a little tiny gag, a little prank. But Jack legitimately thought that Ben was just joking around, that he was having some, I don't know, some fun or whatever. And Jack witnesses as Ben goes on with a 45-second to almost a minute-long presentation about facts about Huggy Wuggy. And by the end of it, Jack was kind of looking at Ben like, oh, so you're actually doing Huggy Wuggy. And Ben's like, yeah, Huggy Wuggy is my favorite animal. I decided to do the animal because he's my favorite. And then kind of smiles. And Jack is like, oh, okay, well, here's the thing, right? You do know that Huggy Wuggy's from a video game, right? That he doesn't actually exist. And Ben looks at him and says, you're sounding like an idiot, Jack. Next you're going to say the sky isn't real. Next you're going to say that my foot isn't real. And Jack, look, my foot is right there. Next you're going to say this table that we're both sitting on isn't real. And Jack's like, we're not sitting on the table. And Ben's like, it doesn't matter. The point is that you are being ridiculous. And that I think it's time for you to stop talking. And Jack was just like, okay, like whatever. Don't listen to me. Fail. Why would I care? And Ben and Jack kind of like just got up and left, even though people weren't supposed to leave their partners yet. But yeah, Jack and Ben kind of just got up and left and went back to their original seats. And the teacher noticed this and was about to say something, but I guess just was like, nah, bro, I'm not trying to deal with this. But anyways, right, skip forward to the day of the presentation. This is where everything goes bad. Real quick, comment Huggy Wuggy down below if you want a heart on your comment. If you don't know how to spell that, it's in the title. And yeah, so that's the secret word of the day. I'm going to try and heart as many as I can, but I might be a little busy tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. And also, the best way to help support the channel is by binge watching videos, basically watching a ton of videos at once. An easy way to do that is by watching playlists of my videos, which I have some in the description. And also, please let me know if you do this in the comments. I'm seeing you guys comment all over the place telling me that you're on like video number 15 or whatever. I'm trying to heart as many of those comments as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much once again. And back to the story, because things are about to get very, very interesting. Anyways, right, so Jack is sitting there because it is the day. It is finally the day that everyone does their presentation. And so the teacher is going down the list and he sees Jack's name. So he calls Jack up and Jack goes up to do his presentation on dogs. And Jack does a pretty good job. His poster is pretty cool. It got a photo of his dog. It got a photo of like a wolf, which is the descendant of a dog. It got a photo of like, I don't know. It's a good presentation. He has some good facts. And it's about a minute long, which is about as long as it's supposed to be. So Jack sits down, the teacher says, very good, Jack, kind of checks off his name, goes through a few more people, and finally he's like, all right, Ben, can you come up here? And Jack looks over, because at this point, Jack has kind of forgotten about the whole fight/feud he got in with Ben yesterday, and it all kind of like flashes back to him right away. And he's like, oh my God, I wonder if like Ben, like, I don't know, took what I said to heart and like real quick made a project on something else, or if he's just like full sending it with a Huggy Wuggy and actually believes that it's real. And sure enough, right, Jack is able to get a glimpse of the poster board that, Ben is walking up to the front with, and sure enough, he sees the blue outline of Huggy Wuggy, and he's like, no way, dude, no way, dude. And sure enough, Ben walks up there, and he ends up doing an entire presentation on Huggy Wuggy. And the teacher is not amused in the slightest. So Jack was watching the teacher's face as Ben was doing the presentation the whole time. And at first, the teacher kind of had a face of like shock and like, what is this thing? what is a Huggy Wuggy? What even is this? And then it kind of turned to a face of like anger, I guess kind of like, oh, he's treating my class as a joke. He's like goofing around up there. Everyone else did such a good job and this kid isn't trying. And by the end of it, the teacher's pretty mad. And so, Ben is like, and that is my presentation, Huggy Wuggy. And sure enough, right, the teacher's like, Ben, like, why, like, I should have known you're goofing around. You're always goofing around in class. Like, why didn't you take this project serious? Like, it was a really big deal. Everyone else did such a good job with their projects. And, like, I'm not expecting an incredible amount, but, like, you know. And as the teacher was saying this, he was like getting progressively angrier and angrier. And it was as if like the teacher's like, in the cartoons when like the smoke comes out of the person's ears when they're mad. By the end of it, the teacher was kind of looking like that. Obviously, smoke did not literally come out of his ears. But by the end of it, he's like, Ben, you know what? Just go to the principal's office. If you don't have respect for me, this class, and your fellow classmates, and you obviously don't by this presentation you made, go to the principal's office. And Ben is looking completely shocked because remember, by the last interaction Jack had with him, it seems pretty clear that Ben believes Huggy Wuggy is actually real, right? Maybe some teachers would have been okay with this. Maybe some teachers would have just been like, sit down. But this teacher thought that like Ben was being rude on purpose. So sure enough, right, Ben gets up and he walks out of the classroom and goes to the principal's office. And Jack is like, wow, like, I expected the teacher to not be happy about it or to at least like give him a bad grade, but wow, like that's not the reaction that I was personally expecting. And the thing is, right, that isn't the end of the saga, not even close, because Jack was not expecting that reaction from the teacher, and he was definitely not expecting what was about to happen next, because about 10 minutes later, he hears on the loudspeaker, like, Jack, can Jack last name please come to the front office? And Jack is like, no way this is a coincidence, because Jack was a decently good kid. He got in trouble like a little bit in second grade, but since he's in third grade now, he's had a clean slate, and he kind of knew for a fact that like he wasn't in trouble for anything that like he did. And he was thinking, well, I kind of had a falling out with this kid who got in trouble 10 minutes ago, and 10 minutes later, right, I hear my name. Oh my God, this is not a coincidence. What on earth did this kid say? So anyways, Jack is like, looks up to the teacher, says, sorry, I'll be right back. He gets up, he walks down to the principal's office, and yeah, Jack was 100% right, because he gets to the principal's office, and you know who's sitting there? The principal. And you know who's sitting right next to the principal? Ben. And Jack is kind of looking at them like, what's going on here, boys? And so the principal's like, well, Ben over here says that you, Jack, tricked him into doing a presentation on something that didn't actually exist, and that you maliciously told him that he had to do this, and that it was a great presentation, and that this creature actually is real, and that the whole time it was your master plot, your master plan to get, Ben in trouble because you've hated him for so long. And Jack is literally sitting there. His mouth is like wide open, just gaping wide open, just like, what? Huh? I didn't do, are you serious, bro? Like, I don't even know this kid. He's new. Well, we haven't had, years-long beef. Are you serious? But anyways, right, the principal must have been in, a terrible mood, because when Jack was, denying it, being like, this kid is making it up, the principal's like, why would this kid be making it up? Why would he do a presentation on something so stupid? And you could just see Ben's face kind of go, right? But anyways, the principal's like, it doesn't even matter. Both of you, after school detention today. That's it. You're lucky I'm being nice. And Jack is like, but I'm not even part of this. I told him not to do the presentation, and that he was stupid for thinking the Huggy Wuggy's real. And the principal's like, zip it. Another word out of you, and you're going to have 2 days instead of 1. And Jack was so mad. He was steaming. He was angry because, he had to text or call up his mother or somehow communicate with her saying, hey, don't pick me up at the normal time, pick me up an hour later because I'm in detention because some kid lied about me. And he knew his mom was going to be mad, so he had to go and call up his mom, and it was just a bad time, right? So anyways, fast forward to after school, which, Jack has been mad the entire day, which honestly, dude, I would be really grumpy and just upset the entire day as well, if I'm being honest, especially if I'm getting in trouble because some kid lied about me, bro, that's not fair, that's not cool. But anyways, flash forward to after school, and sure enough, right, the only 2 people that are in detention this day, Jack and Ben. And there's a teacher that's supposed to be looking after them, but he's like, I'm going to go do something. Don't go anywhere. And the teacher who's like looking after the room leaves. So it's literally a room with no one in it and no teacher besides Jack and Ben. So immediately Jack turns to Ben and is like, dude, why did you lie in there? Like, I literally had nothing to do with it. I told you that was a stupid thing to say, or like a stupid thing to do a presentation on. And sure enough, Ben is like, bro, I got you in trouble because you disrespected Huggy Wuggy. And Jack is like, dude, are you serious? Like, you got me in trouble because I said he wasn't real. Why do you think you were in trouble in the first place? And, you know, Ben is like, yeah, well, you still disrespected Huggy Wuggy, so I had to get you in trouble. And Jack's like, bro, are you And then all of a sudden, Jack's like, all right, well, I do know that the principal is still here. And, like, I do know that, like, this kid is an idiot. And I think I can get out of this. So sure enough, right, Jack is like, all right, I got my phone in my back pocket. And he's like, oh, wait, 1 second. And he whips out his phone and pretends to be like texting someone. He's like, I gotta text my mom because you got me stuck here. The thing is, right, he actually does text his mom saying, hey, like, change of plans. The kid just admitted to it, which he had not admitted yet. But wait a second. He says, can you pick me up now? And his mom's like, yeah, sure. Like, okay, like, I believe you. I'll be there in like 10 minutes or whatever. Because like his mom was not actually that far away. She's a stay-at-home mom, so it's not as, and she didn't really have anything planned that day. But anyways, right, you know, he's still kind of texting his mom, and then he goes to voice memos, hits record, puts the phone, and kind of just like holds on to the phone, but makes sure that Ben doesn't see his phone. And anyways, he asks again, like, Ben, so you lied about me telling you to do it just because I disrespected Huggy Wuggy. Is this true? And Ben is all proud. Ben is like, yes, I did that. I lied. The entire thing, all those things I said to the principal were lies. And I did them because you disrespected Huggy Wuggy. And the moment he said that, like, Jack looks at his phone, hits end to the recording, and literally gets up and walks out of the room. And Ben's like, bro, you can't go anywhere. You're in detention with me. Jack is not even listening to this kid. He's like, I have no respect for you. And he just ran out of there. Anyways, right, so sure enough, Jack runs into the principal's office, and the principal's still there, and it's like, Jack, you're supposed to be in detention. Like, you skipped detention, you're going to get 2. And he's like, wait, give me a second, please. And the principal, who's still in a bad mood, is like, fine, but you got very quickly, and if you don't have a good excuse, you're getting 2 days of detention. And so Jack is like, you know how I said that the kid was lying? And she's like, yeah. And he pulls out the voice memo, and he literally framed this kid so bad. His question to set it up was like setting it up so well. He's like, did you lie to the principal about me? And like Ben is literally just like, yes, bragging about it. So the principal's like, oh, wow. The principal kind of feels a little remorseful, and she's like, oh, I'm actually sorry about that, Ben. You don't have to be in detention today. You're free to go. And then she's also like, or not Ben, Jack, sorry. She's like, Jack, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, and yeah, Ben's getting a week of detention for lying to me. Yeah, and you see the principal get out of her chair, super angry, huffing and puffing, and like, oh my God, that kid is getting it. And so anyways, right, Jack was free to go, and he was pretty happy that Ben was about to get like a week of like detention because kid deserved it, to be honest. And so sure enough, right, Jack's mom, about like 5 minutes later, pulls up and is like, Jack, like, what happened today? Like, can you explain? And Jack told her the story that I just
Click on the
told
video
you.
on screen right now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it. Today we got a story time of a Minecraft kid who freaks out in class because he thinks Huggy Wuggy, yeah, like the big blue monster thing from that video game, is real and out to get him. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Leave a like on the video to claim your free nothing, and let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber Alex, and I got that name from the comment section, so leave a comment for any name you want me to use. But anyways, Alex told me the story about this time of when this Minecraft kid had this massive freak out in class because he thought Huggy Wuggy, as I showed you a photo earlier, that kind of like that blue monster from that video game, was actually real. And you might be thinking, Connor, how did he even fall for this in the first place? Well, anyways, here's part 1 of what happened. Part 1 is actually tricking the Minecraft kid into believing it. And the subscriber was not the one who ended up tricking the Minecraft kid, Because I don't know, that's a little bit mean. I'll be honest, it just feels like a little bit mean to me, and the subscriber also feels that way, I'm just going to call him Alex from this point on. But there's this kid in the class, right? So there's Alex, there's the Minecraft kid, and then there's also the we're just going to call him the bully guy. He's known for being kind of mean, for like, I don't know, tricking people, pranking people, but also kind of doing it in like mean-spirited ways. And in part one of this story, essentially what happens is, right, the bully guy, he's bored one day, and he knows the Minecraft kid is kind of gullible, and he's known as the Minecraft kid because he plays a ton of Minecraft, and that's kind of his personality, which, when you're in second grade, which is what grade they were in, man, like, I don't know, it's a cool game. That's fine if that's your personality. But anyways, right, one day, the bully was kind of just like chilling in class, and he was getting bored, and he wanted to mess with someone, and he knew that the Minecraft kid was pretty gullible, and, he was like, you know what? Let's try and convince this kid about that, Huggy Wuggy is actually like a real thing. For me, back in the day, for a little bit, I believed in this thing called like Bloody Mary. Essentially, back in my day, there was a little legend going around that if at 3 a.m., yes, before 3 a.m. became kind of a meme, if you went into your bathroom mirror at 3 a.m. with the lights off and said Bloody Mary's name 3 times, she'd appear behind the mirror and then end you. Like, it was something like that. I know that sounds really dumb, but bro, I was in second grade and I kind of believed it. So once again, right, the bully is like, you know what? We're going to make the Minecraft kid believe that, yes, Huggy Wuggy is like a legitimate urban legend and will actually, come after him if something happens. And the bully kind of doesn't just want to scare him a little bit. He also wants to embarrass him in front of the whole class. So when the bully comes up with this idea, he feels pretty proud of himself. He feels pretty confident. He's pretty excited, So he turns to both his friend, who we're going to call Ben, and also the subscriber, aka Alex, right? And Alex isn't necessarily friends with the bully. He just is like on okay grounds with him. And the bully turns to Ben and Alex and is like, hey, I have a pretty funny idea. So you see him over there, points to the Minecraft kid. I'm going to convince him that Huggy Wuggy is real. And at this point, Alex is like, that's fine, like, whatever, do what you want. But then the bully says, and then I'm going to do this. The bully goes on to explain to Ben and Alex that he's going to tell the Minecraft kid that Huggy Wuggy will only spawn when a teacher talks about something called the Black Death. If you don't know, that was something like the Black Plague or whatever. That was something that happened in like the 1600s or maybe earlier, I kind of forget, where there's a disease that wiped out a lot of people on the planet. And the bully knew that they were really close to covering it in history class. And he was going to explain to the Minecraft kid that across schools, across the country, right, that talking about like, the Black Plague or the Black Death or whatever was banned because the teachers knew it would spawn like Huggy Wuggy, this evil creature, whatever, which sounds ridiculous, but man, they were in second grade. And essentially, the bully was going to, show him, try and convince him of, Huggy Wuggy's existence, and then tell him if the teacher, says anything about the Black Death or the Black Plague, he will spawn and, end us all or whatever, knowing very well that the teacher was about to hop onto a unit about, like, the Black Plague, and most likely, the Minecraft kid would have had a massive freak out in class. So Ben, the bully's friend, was like, ha ha ha, that's so funny, whatever, but Alex, the subscriber, was like, all right, man, I don't know, that sounds a little mean, but, do what you want to do. And, Alex kind of goes back to, living his life or whatever. But, he is close enough to, both the Minecraft kid and, Ben, or not Ben, but the bully guy, to hear what the bully says to the Minecraft kid to try and convince him. So anyways, right after that conversation, the bully goes on his phone and finds some kind of like scary video of like a clip from the video game where Huggy Wuggy like jumps out and attacks like the player, but make sure not to show that it doesn't show any part that, I don't know, shows that it's in a video game or shows that it's a YouTuber. So he goes ahead and he goes on this like downloader app. He downloads the video from YouTube and then he cuts it so it's just like, the Huggy Wuggy jump scare or whatever. He's like, all right, this is my proof and I'm going to go up to the Minecraft kid and try and convince him. So anyways, right, the bully does go up to the Minecraft kid and the bully's like, man, I got something really, really important to tell you. And the Minecraft kid's like, oh, bro, what's up? Like, what's going on? He's like, hey, man, this is just like, I need to get the word out about this. It's like for the safety of others. He's like, dude, my cousin had a friend who went to this school. And in this school, they didn't get the message. And, the Minecraft kid's like, what do you mean they didn't get the message? And the bully's like, they didn't get the message not to talk about the Black Plague. And, Minecraft kid's like, oh, I don't know what that is. He's like, okay, so here's basically what happened. For some reason, right, across the country, whenever, teachers were talking about, trying to teach their kids about the Black Plague, this creature, this big blue creature would just appear and you would just end them all. And just look, and he shows them a video. He doesn't call the creature Huggy Wuggy, right? Because it's like, that's a little like, that might throw him off a little bit. The name is a little bit too cutesy. He's like, I'll leave that out. And then the Minecraft kid is like, oh my God. But then the Minecraft kid's like, wait a minute, why haven't I heard about this? And, the bully thinks for a second. He's like, oh shoot. And he's like, oh, the government, they're trying to cover it up, man, because it would be mass hysteria. We'd literally have a civil war. Why would we have a civil war? I don't know. It sounded scary and hyperbolic, so might as well say that. But anyways, the bully's like, they tried to cover it up, but my cousin, he had a friend, and his friend, he was leaving to go to the bathroom as the big blue monster came in and ended all of his friends. He was able to escape, and, the FBI came to his house and said that he couldn't tell anyone. And, but, he needed to get the word out just in case. He said, if a teacher, right, if for some reason our teacher has not gotten the word and they start teaching us about the Black Plague, right, you have to get up and you have to stop them at all costs. I just need to let more people know. And at this point, right, the Minecraft kid's like, oh man, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. And the bully just he puts both hands on the Minecraft kid's shoulders and looks him directly in the eyes. And he's like, just remember, if you have to take one thing away from what I'm saying, if our teacher starts talking about the Black Death, the Black Plague, whatever you want to call it, you'll know it when you hear about it. This is what's going to happen to all of us. And he reaches back into his pocket, pulls out his phone, goes into his videos, and shows him the video again. At this point, right, the Minecraft kid is completely convinced. And just remember, the Minecraft kid was already kind of gullible, plus they were all in second grade. Normally, if you did this to some random high schooler, yeah, it wouldn't work. But bro, the Minecraft kid, at this point, he was both terrified and convinced. So the bully walks back, the bully walks over to, back to his table, and he's kind of smiling, and he looks over at Ben and kind of gives him a high five or whatever. And, Alex, the subscriber, is looking at this bro, this kid's kind of a jerk, if I'm being honest. So nothing really happens for the rest of that day, and nothing actually happens for a couple more days. But about 3 days later, they all get into class, they sit down, right? Alex, the subscriber, has more or less kind of forgotten about what has happened in the last couple days, and is just kind of thinking about normal things. And he's like, oh, I wonder what we're going to learn about in history today. And sure enough, the teacher goes up, and he's like, all right, class, we've reached that period in history where we're going to be talking about the Black Plague. And at this point, right, as soon as Alex heard those words, everything kind of snapped back into him and remembered exactly what the bully's plan was. And Alex looked over at the Minecraft kid, and he was able somehow to see at the angle he was able to see the Minecraft kid's face. And the Minecraft kid's face was completely pale, in complete shock. And the Minecraft kid was about to act. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, which if you're hearing this, you did, comment Huggy Wuggy down below. That's 2 words, by the way. I just want to see how many people made it this far into the video, as I really, really do appreciate people who watch my videos. And also, if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing. It'll make me very happy, and you'll get 0 seconds of good luck, which is a fantastic deal. Anyways, back to the video. Anyways, right, sure enough, Alex, the subscriber, is sitting there oh no, the Minecraft kid, what is he gonna do? And yes, sure enough, right, the Minecraft kid, he gets up and he literally says, no! He just screams out no in front of everyone. And everyone kind of just goes super silent, because they're just why did this kid just scream out no? The teacher's face is this look of complete shock and confusion with a little bit of horror, because he's just oh my God, why did this kid just get up in front of everyone and scream, no? Because at this point, right, the teacher and nobody else besides the bully, Ben, and, the subscriber, Alex, have any idea about why any of this is going on. And, right, the bully and Ben are trying so hard not to laugh right now. Alex, looks over and takes, a peek and says, yeah, these kids are trying not to laugh so hard. By the way, don't worry, the bully's gonna get some karma in just a second, but it's towards the end, but he does get karma. Don't worry. What goes around comes around, just as Justin Timberlake said, baby. Don't worry about it. And the teacher finally, after being kind of like shocked for a second, looks at the Minecraft kid and says, "What are you talking about?" And the Minecraft kid's like, "No, don't talk about, the Black Plague." And the teacher's like, "It's in our unit. Why do you not want?" He's like, a big blue monster. He's gonna come eat us all. And at this point, right, the class is just like, what the heck? What is going on right now, man? What is going on? And the teacher looks at the Minecraft kid and is like, come again? And the Minecraft kid's like, you don't understand. There's this creature, this big blue creature that, he's going around from school to school. And if the teachers talk about, the Black Plague, he comes and ends them all. And at this point, right, the teacher's like, Minecraft kid. He says his actual name. He's like, Minecraft kid. That is obviously not true. Also, I just said, the Black Plague. If that was true, wouldn't there be a big blue creature coming out right now? And sure enough, no, Huggy Wuggy did not appear from the ceiling and, FNAF-style jump scare them all. That just didn't happen. Sure enough, believe it or not, and yeah, the Minecraft kid is, sitting there, still kind of panicked, freaking out. He's like, and then, the Minecraft kid is starting to realize how ridiculous of a statement because he kind of did it on instinct. He was thinking about it, because for the last 2 days he was having nightmares about the big blue monster, which happened to be Huggy Wuggy or whatever, right? And he's like, oh my, and he was freaking out about it. So the second that the teacher said the kind of the key word that was supposed to doom them all, he freaked out. But after he said it out loud in front of everyone, he kind of realized how dumb it was, and he kind of sat back down. He's like, sorry teacher, I don't know what got into me. At this point, right, the whole class starts laughing. And the subscriber, Alex, he's not having it. He's like, nah, man, this Minecraft kid, he's not a bad kid. I'm not for this. And anyways, right, the bully and Ben, his friend, are just laughing so hard right now. Even the teacher giggles a little bit, which fair enough, right? It's kind of wild what just happened. He's like, all right, class, don't worry about a big blue monster coming out to destroy us all. I can promise you personally that will not happen. And then everyone laughs again a little bit, and then they go on to actually go into the history lesson. And, sure enough, right, Alex is sitting there throughout the entire class. He was thinking to himself, man, this is not right. That was wrong. That kid did not deserve that. So eventually, right, the class ends, and everyone gets up, and they go off to their next class. But Alex, he kind of takes a little longer to pack up his stuff so that naturally everyone will leave before him. And he's kind of there, he puts his stuff into the bag, and the teacher's sitting at his desk, kind of looking at his paperwork or whatever, getting ready for his next class. And Alex, the subscriber, goes up and says, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And the teacher's like, yeah, sure. And Alex then goes on to explain everything. He kind of goes on to explain everything that I told you in this story, and the teacher is looking at him the whole time all right, good to know. And yeah, sure enough, right, the teacher thinks about it and is like, yeah, that was kind of mean. That was kind of mean of the bully guy. And the bully guy had a history of doing stuff like this before. Maybe, if it was a kid who was genuinely known as a good kid, and he just thought it'd be kind of funny to have a little prank or whatever, he would get away with it, maybe just with a little talk or something. But no, this kid had a history of being kind of a massive jerk. So yeah, sure enough, the teacher's like, all right, thank you for letting me know. I will handle this. Yeah, and sure enough, later that day, Alex, the subscriber, is kind of walking in the hallways, and, the bully isn't near him, but he hears on the loudspeaker, and it's says the bully's name, but he's like, can bully insert last name please come to the front office? I repeat, can bully insert last name? It's first name, last name, you know what I mean? We'll say bend over. So, I'm kidding. I've seen that comment so many times. Anyways, can I don't know, Ben, Steve, or whatever come to the front office if that was the name of the bully. And sure enough, right, the bully got a pretty big talking to. And while he didn't necessarily get suspended, apparently, he was on very, very thin ice. And if he did anything like that again, he was going to be in school suspension for a couple days. And also his mom got called and was told all about that, which I don't know, man. Sometimes that's the worst punishment of them all.